Okay, let's get into this. For today's deep dive, we're looking at some really incredible source material. It's the travel notes of Roberta Hill, specifically her reflections on navigating the world in her 70s.
Yeah, the title she gave them really says it all. Being seen, being missed, traveling in my 70s.
It really does. And the sources we have, they're just phenomenal. We've got journals from her huge world trip, detailed plans for the Golden Triangle in India, the Galapagos.
Even those intense hikes around Machu Picchu. But the thing that makes this so compelling, the real core of it all, is this theme she identifies. She calls it the peculiar magic that comes with age.
A peculiar magic, yeah. And it's not about the places, not really. It's about this contradiction she lives with. She says an older traveler becomes both highly visible and strangely invisible, sometimes in the same airport terminal.
You can just feel that tension in her writing, can't you? And travel for her is what makes that contradiction so sharp.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack that, to really get into that friction.
Right. How does this person, this active, incredibly curious traveler who can cross continents, how does she deal with a world that keeps trying to filter her competence through just one thing, her age?
Yeah, what are the pros and cons of moving through the world when your own reality is one of lifelong knowledge, but the world's assumption is fragility?
Well, let's start with the pros. I think we have to begin with what she calls the gift of invisibility on the road.
Oh, I love that phrase. It's so good. She talks a lot about the freedom it gives her, especially for what she calls slow travel. She doesn't have to perform anymore.
Right. There's no need to put on that armor of being a young, energetic tourist who has to prove they're having the best time ever.
Hmm. And that anonymity, it lets her observe in a totally different way.
Totally. When you're not being scrutinized, you get this quiet vantage point. You can just sit for hours, maybe in a market in Jaipur or on a bench in Portugal, and you can, as she puts it so well, watch a place exhale.
That's the whole difference, isn't it? I mean, if you're 25, you might be worried about proving your endurance or getting that perfect photo for the story.
You need an anecdote, something that makes you sound adventurous.
Yes. But at 70, that internal pressure is just gone. You're just present.
And it lets you notice the small things, the little social rituals, the way people queue up, things a tourist on a schedule would just blow right past. She says she's liberated from proving her relevance.
She's not chasing the story. She's letting the story find her.
Exactly. And younger travelers often can't do that. They're trapped by, time constraints or the pressure to perform on social media. Hill is just saying, I have time and I'm not a threat, so I'm just going to watch.
Which is this huge psychological relief that comes with age. She doesn't have to prove she belongs there. She just is there.
It's permission to slow down.
But of course, that invisibility has a shadow side, and it can emerge so quickly.
Oh, it turns on a dime. That beautiful, quiet observation can flip into just outright dismissal.
Yeah, that's where the sharp edges come out. When not being scrutinized becomes being completely disregarded.
And her examples are they're so precise and painful.
The one about the hotel counter. Standing there, maybe during that world trip, and just watching younger people who came in after her get served first. She says she feels like part of the decor, like a piece of furniture that the staff has just trained themselves to look past.
And that's where ageism meets modern efficiency, right? These fast-paced places, airports, hotels, they run on these quick, shallow assessments of who's in a hurry, who's important.
And if you don't project speed or immediate value, the system just garden. It ignores you. It's that feeling of having your competence completely filtered out.
Which brings us perfectly to the other side of the coin, the moment where she's suddenly too visible.
Yes, often against her will. And the airport is the main stage for that.
The airport gauntlet. A space designed for efficiency that just highlights every single physical anomaly.
She has this amazing, almost resigned way of describing her security routine, her knee replacement. She says, I'm guaranteed one thing. The scanner will go off every time.
The irony there is just incredible. She's flying off to the Galapagos, a trip that requires serious physical resilience, all because of this sophisticated medical tech, the titanium knee.
Right.
But that same piece of tech instantly flags her as a problem. It forces her to stop, lift her pant leg, and do what she calls her party trick. Her body is literally betraying her desire for anonymity.
It's a physical betrayal. Her mind is ready for adventure, but the very thing enabling that adventure is setting off alarms.
And if the scanner wasn't enough to make her visible, then there's the question, the one she says lands like a slight slap.
Oh, the question, are you 75 or over?
And it hits different because it's supposed to be helpful, right? It's a rule to save older travelers the trouble of taking off their shoes.
It's meant as a kindness.
But here's the punchline she points out. The agent doesn't even hesitate. There's no squinting, no awkward mental math. The question just confirms, without a doubt, that she looks exactly her age.
So she gets to keep her shoes on, but she says her dignity is slightly off.
It's such a perfect way to put it. The system tries to help by sticking a label on her senior traveler. And in doing so, it just chips away a little piece of her pride.
So those two moments, the knee and the question, they perfectly capture the tension. Her body forces visibility, and the system enforces a label.
Exactly. She's defined by an external calculation, not by her own purpose for being there.
And that really opens up this whole other area, the visibility I didn't order, the uninvited help.
Ah, yes, the classic scenario.
Mhm.
Being offered a seat on a crowded tram in Lisbon or a train in Rome.
And the way she describes her emotional reaction is so honest. She admits it's this weird, volatile, emotional cocktail.
A cocktail, that's a great word for it.
Because sometimes she's genuinely grateful. Other times, she's annoyed if no one offers. And then there's what she calls the uncomfortable truth.
The secret pleasure she feels when they do offer.
Yes. And that's the nuance, isn't it? It's pride because she knows she can stand. It's irritation that someone's judged her as fragile. It's relief that she doesn't have to balance. And it's this sense of exposure.
Because she knows exactly why they offer. The person offering the seat isn't seeing her, Roberta Hill.
You know?
They're seeing her age, her posture, her hair. They're doing a quick calculation. Age equals fragility, and they act on it.
And she benefits from it, even while she feels the psychological weight of it every single time. She's not fighting the kindness. She's navigating the assumption behind it.
It's a constant negotiation.
Now, we've talked a lot about the frustrations, but we should balance that with the times visibility works completely in her favor.
The quiet perk.
The quiet perks, specifically the senior discount.
Right. This is the clean, efficient side of the age label. It's transactional. There's no emotional messiness.
She describes it so well. She asks for the discount, maybe at a museum or for a train fare. And what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing. No raised eyebrows. Really, just a quiet nod and a lower price.
She is visible enough to qualify, invisible enough not to be questioned. It's efficient. It's validating in a way. And yet, she still calls it sobering.
Because the discount confirms the very label she resents, even as she benefits from it.
Yep.
And that resentment is really the core conflict of all her travel notes.
Absolutely. She loves the freedom that age brings her, the slow travel, choosing better experiences, not just chasing stories. But what really gets to her are the assumptions stitched into every interaction.
The labels. Age equals fragility. Help is always needed. Capability has an expiry date.
But all the evidence in her own journals, her itineraries, the fact that she hiked Machu Picchu, it all proves she's an incredibly capable traveler. Yet the world keeps trying to frame her through this lens of decline.
So in a way, her travels become this quiet act of defiance.
Yes. She's using her curiosity to disprove the assumption that she should just be sitting at home, and that leads her to the ultimate insight from her journey.
Which is?
She stops fighting it. She learns to live in that space between being seen and being overlooked.
Ah, so it becomes a strategy.
A strategy. She figures out how to use each state. She uses her invisibility to observe, to rest, to slip through a crowded market unnoticed.
And she uses her visibility when she needs it, when she needs respect or clarity.
Or, yes, when her body genuinely needs that seat on the bus. She uses the labels when they serve her, but she never lets them define who she is.
That's the final, powerful realization she shares, isn't it? That either state, visible or invisible, defines her.
Unless she lets it.
She makes it so clear. She's not the metal in her knee or the shoes she gets steep on. She's not the discount or the offered seat.
She is still here, still curious, still moving through the world with my eyes wide open. That curiosity is the thing that overrides everything else.
And that really sums up this deep dive perfectly. The ultimate freedom of age and travel isn't being young. It's the permission to be yourself, to be curious, even when society's trying to put you in a box.
It's basically an instruction manual for aging with dignity and adventure.
A phenomenal perspective to take with you anywhere. Thank you for helping us unpack all of this.
Of course. And as we leave you, here's a thought to take with you, one that comes directly from her realization. If capability doesn't have an expiry date, What assumptions are you projecting onto travelers, or really onto anyone who are just moving through the world with their own purpose? And what might you miss? What nuance if all you see is their age?